Today, we're going to be breaking down my very own ranked gameplay. Big shout out to Gail. I hope I am pronouncing it right for giving me the suggestion in my comments. I've actually been sitting on this idea for a while, so I don't really know why I haven't made it before. But nevertheless, we're going to get it started right here on this hotel hardpoint. So I'm just sort of going to be going over the game, giving y'all the sort of thought processes I have in my head as a sub player, or really just any kind of player. Any of this advice could really help you throughout your game and even just future games of COD. So as a sub player for this P1 hill, everybody mainly knows the 6 sort of spots that you have to look for the opposing players. And that's going to be catwalk, this cube corner right here. I know there's another name for it. I'm not trying to get demonetized. Connector, double arch right here, single arch, and couches. Those are really mainly the 6 spots that you're going to find an opposing player when we're dealing with this first hill right here. So that's why a lot of people, especially, and the spawns too, I'll get into that in a minute, but as a sub player, there's really only 2 main routes. And for the most part, it's going to be either A, couches, which is to my right over here. Mainly, I would go here if I'm sort of anticipating a P4 push. So basically somebody pushing through LDES to get to couches, which, I mean, we have 2 of my teammates over here on the mini map. They're kind of on that right side of the map. So realistically, they're both pushing bed. And based off this break off, they would probably find somebody who's going to be pushing through 2 couches. So my thought process is to go to the next spot, which is going to be through connector right here. Throw the stun because I know the stun trajectory or whatever. So as a sub player, there's also with connector, you could probably either wait for somebody to push double arch and you could probably beam them from this distance. But I just decided to push through to rugs. I check a quick little check for Shandy. My teammate picks up the kill. Now, as this is mainly for an AR player, but this could really work for any other player too. The main thing with P1 spawns, I like to call them, and this is kind of a joke, I like to call it the Bermuda spawns, the Bermuda Triangle spawns, because the main 3 places that people are going to be spawning in is kitchen and diner, P2, which is what I'm looking at right now, or bedroom. So those are really going to be the main 3 spots that you're going to be seeing people at, or those are the main 3 spawn points. So by me blocking these P2 steps right here, realistically, the only other place they could spawn is Shandy. And if it's not Shandy, it has to be kitchen. Because my teammate's on point right here. My other teammate's in bed. So the only other spawn point that's not being technically blocked is a little bit of Shandy. So people would probably spawn on Shandy, especially because there is a 3 down. Or it would have to be kitchen because nobody's blocking kitchen. And especially at this point too, because we have 3 down, you also have to account for squad spawns. So you also have to account for a lot of people being together. Like people are just going to be grouped up based off a squad spawn. But right now I'm kind of blocking. I see my teammate sort of died here. He hits couches. I unfortunately die. He gets a good kill. I'm going to have to live with it. My teammates are playing for hill. You see, exactly. So my teammate, so somebody's on hill right now, the enemy team. And then I guess my teammates either couches or bed. But exactly, like nobody's blocking because with my teammate being by bed or I guess near couches and somebody being on point, it just shows that I'm most likely going to be spawning kitchen or diner. So I take that spawn, get a couple kills here. My teammate calls out couches. I get the kill. Somebody's on catwalk. Get the kill couches. And that's another thing too, you got to be common with your teammates. Like, I mean, obviously people can tell, and most good players probably have a good assumption on squad spawns, where people are spawning, obviously awareness, hearing shots, knowing where people are going to be. But especially if, not to say you're a lower tier player, but comms help out a lot. So I get a kill right here. I pop Deddy. Now this is going to be a major component in a second. Now, as a player, first of all, I got to clear off points. So I get this kill right here. Get the second. Sort of just waiting for people to pop out. I think my teammate gets him. I should get an assist. Yeah, there you go. Get an easy kill. Okay. For P2, you're probably aware of the term called a money hill. Now, a money hill is basically where you're going to accumulate a lot of points because you only have so many alleyways or so many like hallways that you have to look through. So like the way to get into that hill is very, very limited. So obviously by having 4 players, if you only had to watch 3 entry points, you should theoretically be accumulating a bunch of time, because it's going to be really hard for the enemy team to sort of push you out or get time on that point. Now, obviously the main spawns that you want on this point are basically, again, by those back steps, sort of behind you with the trucks and all that. But in my opinion, probably my favorite spot in terms of holding spawns and making sure spawns don't really get out of control is this spot right here, which is spa. The spa is probably the #1 spawn point that could really mess you up as a team on this money hill if nobody's blocking it properly. That's why, especially for sitting in spa, you still have the look for the P4 push. So if anybody tries to go through D1 or D2, I mean, by you sitting spa, not only are you blocking points, but you're also able to look for that push. If anything, y'all could just sort of play a little bit tighter, especially if, you know, somebody's watching Shandy, somebody's watching spa. If the team decides to like push heavy through, you know, reception or Godhead, y'all can sort of turn your attention there without being necessarily in the back street to block spawns. You can basically block spawns in spa. You can have somebody Shandy. If somebody tries to push heavy through mid or the reception area, y'all turn your attention to that area, and you're still basically doing your jobs. Nobody can really spawn behind you. And even if you do decide to overextend and help near the reception area, then you would only have to watch through spa, and that's kind of an easy 1v1 that you could take. So yeah, spa is a really important aspect for the P2 hill. I think it's very important, especially because you're able to watch 2 entry points as well as blocking spawns in the back. I collect this kill right here. I know somebody's near Shandy. I take the L. I lose my gunny. It is what it is. It happens. I spawn in near bed. Yeah, okay, so this starts to happen near like the 30-second mark for some reason, and I've started to notice this too. Near like the 30-second mark and the 10-second mark, if somebody's not blocking a specific spawn, they start to at least spawn you a little bit closer to the hill. That way, I guess in IW's mind, it tries to keep up the action. It's like, okay, like by the time we hit 30 or by the time we hit 10, we want to spawn them at least a little bit closer to the hills to keep the action up, in my opinion. I think that's what it really is. But I spawned near bedroom. I decided to rotate to kitchen, and in my opinion, I believe it's pretty optimal to like rotate with like 25 to 30 seconds. I'm a big proponent in rotating early. I know that's how it was in the beginning of the game cycle and like how pros are doing it in the beginning of the CDL. Yeah, it's just 2 push me. I'm saying I'm by myself. We got to retake the hill now. I mean, we have a decent lead here, so retaking is not going to be super duper difficult. I mean, my teammate. There's more people getting on point. I'm just sort of trying to get over there to help. I get absolutely demolished. We love the TTK on this game. Oh my gosh, it's crazy because I'm kind of watching this back for the first time in a while. They spawned near Shandy. I mean, that's another thing too. Some of the spawns you also have to read in terms of, you see, like I'm spawning Shandy. Oh yeah, that's another thing too. Sort of just, you know, replacing your knife or replacing your pistol with the AR and with a sub. Pretty important. I'm kind of checked because it's a shorter barrel. That's why that's why I went back to the knife right there. Just checking my angles, just trying to make sure nobody's, you know, pushing through mid, getting a free look. I noticed there's 2 in the back. Sort of just looking for the kill. Now, this is another thing. So the main sort of 2 spawn points that you have to look for when it comes to the 4th hill, which is D1, D2, is spa and bedroom. Now, in my opinion, you can definitely block bedroom and or spa, but in my opinion, especially like having this map knowledge, I'm able to practically spawn trap and sort of read the kill feed and sort of dictate my decisions off that. So I know there's going to be at least 1 or 2 coming from spa. So I get 1 kill. I see that. So there's 3 down right there. Another 3 down. So on the kill feed right now, we basically got 5 or 6 kills back to back to back fairly quickly within at least a 4-second radius. So me reading this, I sort of read the kill feed, especially with these 2 kills being fairly close to mine. I noticed there's somebody coming spa one more time. And with that being said, I'm pretty sure that last guy spawned in before we got that 3-piece, which was the 3 that I read before I got that guy coming from spa. So I decide, okay, because it's a squad spawn and my teammates sort of blocking the spa area right here, or at least like they're in this hallway area, I decide because of the squad spawn system, somebody probably spawned near A. The other 2 kills came like 2 or 3 seconds, probably not even 3 seconds. I'd probably say like 2 seconds from that last kill that I had. They're gonna squad spawn on whoever spawns on bed. So watch how I hold these irons, and I basically am just sort of keeping my focus over here, especially because my teammates are looking towards spa. Bottom bed now, bottom bed. They're coming from bottom bed. That's 1. That came from spa. That was 2. There's gonna be 1 more. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So that's another thing people kind of have to realize is sort of looking at the kill feed, noticing when there's a quick 3-piece or like 4-piece of kills that are sort of coming through, and then sort of looking where your teammates are blocking, because based on where your teammates are blocking, the whole team's going to spawn there. It's because that's literally how squad spawns work. We had a 1 spa. Takes us both out. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. We're rotating right now. Headed through kitchen. Just trying to check my angles, make sure nobody's sort of on my case. This is a pretty cruddy spot. This is kind of a cruddy spot. Nobody really checks on. People check sort of now, but in the beginning of the year, nobody's really checking this area because you would still be able to get time. Unfortunately, I die yet again. We get 3 wiped. Yeah, we get squad wiped right there. 4 down. I decided to just pull out my cruise. I think the score is like, yeah, 114 to 182. So I want to make sure that they're not really getting within 20. Luckily, none of them were using a trophy, so I was able to get 3 right there. Got kind of collecting some time right now. They also have a cruise. That's just a kill. My teammate picks up that one. I got time. There's still Shandy. Oh yeah, that's another thing with these sort of spawns. The main 2 spawn points on P5, which is restaurant, is kitchen and Shandy side. So basically, in my personal opinion, you should probably have somebody. I mean, obviously, you also have to account for rugs because people are going to be coming from Shandy to rugs, or even from kitchen to rugs, or even if you're blocking one of them or looking out near Shandy, some people are going to be spawning near mid, sort of near couches. It really depends, especially because you start to get to that 30-second mark and people are going to be starting to spawn out near mid because the next hill's on helipad, which is near bedroom. So as long as you're looking towards Shandy and you kind of have somebody blocking kitchen, that's a pretty good hold to have. People can make the rotation over through kitchen. You know, they might pop a deady, they might kill you in the back, but it is what it is. Again, but 2 main entry points, really somebody connecting or at least taking control of rugs and making sure nobody pushes through Shandy to sort of get in this little area and push a table or 2, or even really just necessarily having somebody just watching these 2 entry points. That's really the main thing you got to look out for. Start to notice it's like 20 seconds, so I'm just sort of rotating. There is 3 dead, so I'm sort of accounting for people maybe I'd say they're probably like spawning near P4. We'll get into those spawns in a second. Just looking around. Here's somebody near mid. Now, this is probably the biggest hill in this entire video. I believe that this is probably the #1 thing that you got to take, you know, with all the advice, anything out of this video. This hill, in my opinion, is not the easiest hill to control, but it's certainly where you can read the spawns the best, in my personal opinion. The 2 main spawn points you have to worry about on this hill is kitchen and P4. For the most part, you want to have somebody blocking kitchen. But if you don't have anybody blocking kitchen, as a sub, this is probably one of the best maps to sort of accumulate a lot of kills if you're holding control of bed. Now, if you're a sub player and you're trying to, you know, shoot across the kitchen on this platform, or you're trying to roam around the outside area, you're going to get beamed, especially if there's multiple good ARs. Like, it's not worth it. But this is sort of me literally just running around the hill. Me knowing that people are going to be spawning P4. The main places I have to look for are those glass steps, catwalk, and then also just maintaining and not blocking P4 at certain times. Because if I see like 2 or 3 down, I'm not going to be looking directly at P4, because then I'm blocking those spawns. They're going to be spawning probably near mid area if I was blocking it anyways, and my teammates were blocking kitchen if that were the case. But for me, I just got to be aware of timings, sort of get like a 4-second counter in my head, and mainly look for cat, those glass steps, and just making sure bedroom is making sure that they're sort of feeding through bedroom healthily and not like crazy. Get a nice call out for cat. Cat's a huge one too, especially because people are going to be spawning in your kitchen. There's only really two main places people from kitchen can go if you're not blocking kitchen. They're going to be going outside, which if you have an AR sort of in the back area of where helipad is, they can sort of beam anybody who tries to come out of kitchen if you're not blocking that. Or even the only other place they would try to go to is top bed. Where are they going to get to try to go through top bed? They're going to be trying to go through catwalk. So you're going to see a decent amount of kills, or at least some kills coming through mainly cat and glass steps. So I thought I heard somebody back there. They ended up being right here. I just end up going on a streak again, like being aware of timings, looking towards bed. I see there's 4 down. So again, I'm gonna sort of bring that back. There's 2, 3, 4. Okay, so based off this, it's probably gonna be, and based off that time, it's more than likely gonna be a 2-2 split with spawn. So these two are probably gonna spawn with each other, and then these two are probably gonna spawn with each other. I'm sort of aware of this, and I see 4 on the feed, so I'm not blocking completely, and I'm just aware of the timings. Somebody says they're coming down center. Boom, that's 1. That's 2. That's a 3rd one kind of there. I'm on a 10 streak right now. Sort of just baiting him. My teammate thankfully gets him. Again, kitchen spawns. One tries to go through cat. Someone tried to go through kitchen to go through cube corner. Again, another kitchen spawn trying to go through cat. Just reading the spawns. Not blocking when you try to block. Okay, that guy coming from single arch, you also got to be aware of the timer. The spawns have quote unquote changed to what the P1 spawns are doing. Now we're sort of back to the Bermuda spawns. We're going to have people spawning kitchen. We're going to have people spawning near that P2 area or those back steps. And we're going to also be having people starting to spawn near bed. Now, because people are on the point, I believe they shouldn't be spawning near bed. But the main 2 places are probably going to be kitchen and single arch, because again, we're at 10 seconds now. The spawns are now flipping back to that P1 system where you're going to have, again, single arch, kitchen, bedroom. Those are the main places you're going to be looking for. Try to go for the kill. Didn't notice the second one coming. We have somebody collecting time. Spawn restaurant. Again, you know, these are the P1 spawns. You're going to be spawning either kitchen or diner. Get a little 2-piece right there. Another cat spawn. Sort of just reading it, making sure that he can only go as far as he can. Somebody spawned bedroom. Somebody spawned P2. That's why he went through single arch. That's why there was somebody by couches. Yeah. You see, now they have a good amount of map control, the enemy team. So what do we have there? Because I actually like that setup that the enemy team had. Okay, so we had somebody couch. Oh wait, that's not the one. Well, let me see. Because they had a good setup right there. They had 1 cube corner. So yeah, they had this 1 person cube corner collecting time. They had 1 double arch and 1 single arch. The only main spot that they really had to account for is probably bedroom, and obviously, I mean, kitchen. Nobody's really blocking kitchen for the most part, because I mean, I started to spawn kitchen, but they have so many angles looking towards, you know, that kitchen area. Even if they decided to look towards bedroom area, which they probably know somebody's spawning towards, I mean, single arch could probably turn around and deal with somebody if one of my teammates or even I try to spawn bedroom and then rotate through D1 or D2 to try to get those P2 spawns. You can just easily turn around. That's why, again, like I said earlier, I like this spot. You can kind of look towards the kitchen spawn. Somebody tries to go through the connector, or, you know, if you start to notice people start to spawn bedroom, try to get P2 control, or at least P2 spawns, you can sort of turn around, look towards P4 area, look towards those back steps, or at least block spawns for the most part. We do collect a good amount of time here. There is 20-ish seconds. The spawns haven't completely changed to what the P2 spawns are completely. We do get 3 down, so we get a nice little wipe. 4 down right there. They're starting to spawn a little bit further. Again, I'm sort of getting set up in near spa. Yeah, so I'm sort of blocking spa again, making sure I can support my teammates in multiple different places. Now, that was a good push from them. They did a 2-2 split towards reception and Shandy. Oh my gosh. But yeah, they did a 2-2 split. They split reception and Shandy. They had somebody bait out for me, and then they went for the trade, which is a good play. This one right here, again, that's not the best push. I honestly just chowed it for whatever reason. Again, you don't want to really be running into hill without a main plan. You see, now they're getting like 3 or 4 down on our end, so now they're starting to make a little comeback. They have trophies down. I got a quick kill right here. We do break here. We don't win it right here, I'm pretty sure. I decided to rotate because I kind of want them to earn that 20 seconds, and then allows mainly us to put on that pressure. If we were able to get, I mean, unfortunately we didn't get the time there, but I wanted to sort of hopefully get those 20 seconds, hit towards the 240 mark, and sort of allow that pressure to be put on the enemy team. Because if we only need 6 seconds left on a completely new hill, then they have to worry about rotating, they have to worry about staying there the full 6 seconds. Try to get one of them. Again, didn't win my gunny. It is what it is. It happens. I'm pretty sure right here we kind of getting a little blender, especially again, P3 is a money hill. You can accumulate a lot of time because you only have so many entry points. I get one. My teammate kind of gets wiped. Kind of sucks. I decided to chalk it personally. The main thing we really needed to do right there is contest the time, make sure that they don't really, in my opinion personally, get to like 200, because if they get to 200 and somehow get a full 60 or even break through with 10 seconds left or 10 seconds in, and then they get that 50 point, that's really my main thing. I kind of sell that kill. I didn't hear him come in. I think he had Deddy. Again, I have another crew, so I decided to use it. Just try to make sure, or at least see where people are coming from off rotation. I get a kill, so that was huge. Sort of pushing through, trying to get Deddy. You see, these are sort of the hard areas as a sub, because if I try to chow this from D2, I'm getting beamed if they're an AR. What is that? That is nasty. Sort of just rotating. You see, they're starting to catch up a little bit, but I mean, I'm trying not to lose composure. Notice they have better spawns. Somehow get the spot kill, which is huge. Sort of just trying to read where they're going to be spawning from. I think because somebody was spawning or blocking spa, they're going to be spawning near Shandy. Get the kill. We only need a couple of seconds. There we go. So that was a pretty solid game. Obviously, I mean, we got a good stat line from here. 32 kills, 37 from me. As a roaming AR, getting a minute plus isn't necessarily too bad. I think the main thing is sort of just organizing with your team. You know, who's staying on hill, who's sort of bumping with each other. I know y'all probably heard that from me. But just sort of seeing who's going to get spawn, first of all, who's going to block spawn, who's going to be sitting on time, what angles you're watching. A lot of mainly basic hardpoint components from map to map when you're really dealing with hardpoint on Call of Duty. Now, if you guys appreciated the breakdown of this gameplay right here, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel with bell notifications on for more gaming content. But with that, it's not lucky, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.